Bet anywhere with TVG.
Welcome back to Horse Racing Today here on TVG2 Saturday night at Delta Downs in Vinton, Louisiana. A total of 10 stakes races for the Louisiana breds. Here are the 6 that will highlight the program, including the $200,000 Louisiana Premier Night Championship. And to join us talk about Louisiana Premier Night is track announcer Don Stevens, one of your signature cards on the entire calendar year, Don.
Yeah, it really is. It's our second richest program of the year. And, of course, you were here for the richest one back on November 21st, Jackpot Day. That was really about open breds mainly. And this one's all about horses bred right here in Louisiana, and it's a great card.
Well, I think the race that we could talk about first will be race number 10, the Louisiana Bred Premier Night Championship. And it's probably a showdown between the Picket Factor and One King's Man, I would assume.
Yeah, I think those two are obviously going to get most of the play. The Picket Factor is just in really, really good form for trainer Ralph Irwin. He was here earlier in the season, won the Gold Cup. He went confirmed that result with another win down at Fairgrounds on their Champions Day and just toyed with that field. He's gotten some revenge on Mobile Bay, who he finished 4th to in the Grade 2 Super Derby up at Louisiana Downs last September. Since then, he's been unstoppable with Luis Quinones in the saddle. I know Luis from back in my years at Remington Park when I was there in the 90s. Great guy, great rider. The horse just ran so big last time out. The only question is, will he bounce? But I don't think so. He really took to this track when he won the Gold Cup, and I think he's going to be hard to handle once again. Should
be a huge night of handle when you have such great horses competing throughout the night. One King's Man, the more recent winner. He has already won this year. That victory coming at the Fairgrounds, but his overall record here at Delta Downs, it's okay. He's won once out of 6 with 150 grand in earnings, but I would say that the Picket Factor does probably have the upper hand on him.
Well, and the reason, I think running style has a lot to do with it. The Picket Factor is always close or two or on the pace. One King's Man is more of a deep closer. He came from 10th and last to win that last start by 5, but he also benefited from that long stretch at Fairgrounds. Delta Downs has one of the shortest stretches in the country, and, it's just hard to get there when you're that far back turning for home. Once you get kind of straightened away and you really get your momentum going, the wire's right there. So he did it last year, so he's trying to win it 2 years in a row, but I think he's got a tough task in front of him. But Joe Sharp is a very good trainer, and I'm sure he'll bring him ready to run with Miguel Mena back in the saddle.
It's funny you mentioned the long stretch at the Fairgrounds because the Picket Factor had no problem with that track either last time out. So I think he's just a real speedy horse wherever.
Yep, he's very nimble on his feet, very athletic, and again, he's a horse in good form, and that's what you want to see coming into a big race like this.
Well, there is a millionaire racing on the card, but it goes into race number 7, the Louisiana Bred Premier Night Sprint, and that is Hayti, who knows something about this race, doesn't he?
He absolutely does. He's finished in the top 2, 8 of 9 here at Delta, including 5 wins. He's won, of course, last year the sprint, and he's trying to win actually his 3rd straight sprint. He's won it 2 years in a row, and interestingly enough, he's trying to do it for his 3rd different trainer. Back in the day, he was trained by Carl Broberg earlier in his career. He went to Tom Amos, and he won the race last year with him. Now he goes to Eduardo Ramirez, who, if people don't know, that used to be Carl Broberg's assistant. So now he's out on his own. Those two kind of have a rivalry, and Hayti comes back to Delta Downs at the age of 6 trying to win his 3rd straight sprint. He's the only millionaire on the card. He's got a very impressive record. And some people say, somebody asked me this morning, they said, you think he's lost a step in his old age? And I said, I don't think so. If you look at that race at Fairgrounds on December the 12th, he went 21-1, 44-2 before succumbing late in that long stretch to finish 3rd. Still only beaten 2.5, and anything under 6 furlongs, 5.5 and at the half, I think he's just almost unbeatable.
Giacomo Song is going to give him a fit because that's the horse that beat him in that race. And then they came back and, the mile distance seemed to be a little too much for him to handle there at Delta on a sloppy track in the Fremont. So I would think that would be his main rival.
Well, it is, and he's cutting back. You throw that race out, the 4th beaten 13, like you said, the distance, the sloppy track. Plus, he gets Mitchell Merle back in the saddle, and he fit him just perfectly 2 and 3 starts back. So you're right, he's got a lot of natural speed, too. And also, think about this. Hayti last year drew the inside post. Now he's breaking from post 6. Giacomo Song will be to his inside. So if they get out quick, Giacomo Song's going to save a little bit more ground here than Hayti, so that might be something to think about.
Well, the sprint, not a race that we'll need to consider in the All-Stakes Pick 4 because that'll begin in race number 8. The sprint goes in race number 7, but we're looking forward to a huge pull, I'm sure, on races 8, 9, 10, and 11.
Well, we are. In race 8 that starts that late pick 4, we'll have a horse that you saw in person here, Jet Black Magic for Brett Calhoun.
Yeah.
Colby Hernandez up. She's only run against open bred company in all 5 of her career outs. The first time she'll face state breds, but the money's so good. Why not stay here in Louisiana and try that? She handled an off track, beat La Apasionata 2 starts back. Since then, she's had 1/3. That was this year as a 3-year-old down at Fairgrounds. But that was an open bred Silver Bullet Day stake. So I'm sure she's probably going to be, I would think, odds on. She's 8-5 morning line. Should be lower than that, I'm sure.
Don, thanks for your time. Looking forward to your big night on Saturday.
Thank you so much, Dave. Good luck this week.